Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to News from the Pew. I apologize we're late. I had to go get cheese for my wife because she's making pasta. So that's on me. That's why we're late. I apologize. But thank you for tuning in as the internet and the world continues to turn and maybe burn, depending on who you're talking to. We here at News from the Pew will be telling you what's going to happen in about, 3 months. So thank you for hanging out with us on this beautiful Thursday, the 25th of September, 2025. Steve, how are you tonight?
I'm well. I screwed up the Rumble thing, so anybody watching Rumble later, my apologies. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, kind of retarded. As the famous,
I can't figure that thing out. I just have to redo it. Everything you said you could do it, recycle. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it's yeah, we are double trouble, Amy. That's what we are. That's what they say. That's what they call us. But it is it's fine
good.
tonight. Yeah,
good.
everything.
Even though that everything we predicted about 6, 8, 9, 10 months ago is coming true again, and that's why I told you so Tuesday, because literally it just happens in real time. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Yep, it is. And the continued chaos that is being sowed by both sides is just fast tracking the technocracy that is going to come upon us very soon. So, and of course we had.
Well, I'm glad you said that technocracy part, because I'm sure you saw this already.
Oh, yes, that's right. In the UK, this is to stop the migrants. This is what the Prime Minister said, to stop the boats. You could stop the boats by stopping the boats, or you could make sure and ensure everybody has to do digital ID, so that way we are correctly observing our tech overlords and making sure we abide by that, because I'm sure the Muslims are going to be completely fine with any of that.
Yeah, well, you remember last week? What was last week with DJT, Melania, and all them hanging out at the UK and the dinner that they had going with OpenAI and Ellison and all the. It was a technocracy from hell group.
I'm surprised Peter Thiel wasn't there hanging out with them.
No, well, he was doing a lecture series on the Antichrist, so
he's got to stay on brand, as we say. Why change?
He's saying that if AI doesn't go unregulated, I think it is, then the Antichrist will come. And then you got these two blokes, I think they're from Australia, that are saying if we don't blow up all the AI centers, it's going to be, the AI is going to kill us all. It's going to come up with some kind of disease that we can't handle, create war like Skynet or something. They're telling everyone to just pretty much go nuclear on everybody, which is what Zelensky's telling everyone, Russia, do. You better find your bomb zones.
Well, the fact that Trump is now saying, like, you know what? I think we could win the war with them. So, if they have Russian aircraft, if they come in, shoot them down. Because I remember when Hillary Clinton said that in 2016 in Syria, everybody lost their mind. Like, no, don't shoot down aircraft. Don't do no-fly zones. That's a pretext to war. Now Trump's like, shoot them all. I don't care. Whatever. The peace process is done. I'm not getting my award, so blow it all up. And so I have one of my listeners, Michael Thomas, he's telling me it's just and I believe some of it. He's like, he's just bluffing with the Polish. He's trying to work with the Polish stuff. And to a degree, he may be correct. I just feel, Steve, that the way the economy is tanking, Starbucks just announced that they're closing their 900 stores and they're laying off employees and all this kind of stuff. You have Google searches for help with my mortgage at an all-time high. I think if the economy continues to crash, President Trump will do what every president has done when faced with economic crisis, which is start another war to distract from the effort.
Baby bomb.
Yeah. So I think that's why I see such a reversal in policy with Ukraine, because now it's like, well, nothing's going right, so let's just bomb Ukraine. That another war will help us out of this slump.
Maybe we'll give him the peace prize. I mean, the guy was 54 times before the election or selection. He said on day one, we're ending the war with Ukraine and Russia. Now we're at, what day are we in? I lost count, but it ain't day one anymore. But we're still giving money. We're still giving it. Did you see the thing about the Russians? And was it the Was it the Polish military? It was something about a wave. No, it was NATO. They waved at each other. I was thinking the Top Gun when they flipped each other off. Hey, what were you guys doing? Communications.
Giving the bird. So you were in a 4G
Yes,
inverted?
anti-war president, Mr. Brick, and he's just hit another home run by bombing Somalia for the 79th time. He's going for he's already got the record. He's like Barry Bonds now, just padding it on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, nobody's paying attention to what's going on internationally because of the domestic troubles at home. So he's got pretty much a free pass to do whatever he wants because we're too busy locked in the internal strife that has been unleashed. And I believe it's been unleashed. So chaos can be sown. And when chaos is sown, people do one thing. They turn to the Fed to protect and save. And the Fed never lets a crisis go to waste, Republican or Democrat. And all I see is a consolidation of power coming in the form of the Charlie Kirk bill, which will be some kind of anti-hate speech thing that'll be all about Israel. But all that kind of stuff is coming down the line.
Well, they already have a thing, I think,
months.
today about Kirk thing. If you say anything negative against them, they'll take your visa away.
Well, they also greenlit to mint like 400 silver pieces with his face on it.
Yes.
So we're
doing Florida renamed a couple roads after him.
Yep.
I'm waiting for the states. I'm waiting for one of the states to rename itself Kirkland. Oh wait, Costco's already got it. They'll end up trademarking that.
Well, they'll call it something. They'll call it Tipusa Drive or something like that because that was his baby. That's his baby. So I'm sure they'll.
I mean, anybody from Krypton needs their own state named after him, or
yeah. I mean the fact, and this is ridiculous, and this is not speaking ill of Charlie Kirk's legacy. It's the ridiculousness of Tipusa and the right and the way they are deifying him, where they're talking about this man of steel, where he has apparently now I'm only going off of what the reports of the terrible FBI.
Yes,
they're saying that a 30-06, which is designed to go through elk and moose bone, which moose and elk at least moose get to about 1,000 pounds, much bigger than your average human, not much bigger than your average leftist, but most normal people. It's designed to go through elk bone over 200 yards away, right? That's our standard now for a sniper, which is not a standard, but it is. Everybody's a sniper if you shoot from 200 yards, but whatever.
Apparently everybody on X was a sniper a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like everybody is. They're saying that bullet was stopped in his neck. Now there is no exit wound. I get that, which means it's not a 30-06, but they're trying to tell you it's a 30-06, which if it is, then his neck might have disintegrated at that yardage. And this is not, I know the right is fighting about, oh, well, don't talk about it. There's enough global war on terror vets that are saying, listen, a 30-06 at 200 yards is not going to stop in one place. It's going to go through. Now, I'll be fine. I'm completely open to the idea that it's not a 30-06, that it's a completely different bullet. If they're able to get it out of the neck, that's a totally different argument. But as Steve said, we're only going off of the information that is being presented. When you try to put these things together, of course, in the absence of a clear, defined narrative, we're getting all kinds of stuff. Like Candace Owens, as much as I've kind of left her, she has literally gone off the deepest of ends. That poor woman has not taken this well. But, you're getting videos about different angles. And I think Candace even said that somebody popped out of a hole and shot him in the neck and then ran away in the hole. And it's really tragic how people are trying to profit and click. And that's including Turning Point USA and all of these organizations that are trying to capitalize on this moment.
Andrew's the second in command on that. He's the one that came up with it. A fall-away Catholic. Mm-hmm. He came out with the idea that we got to put to bed that neither one of them are Catholic one. And then he brings up the Superman thing. And by the way, it's a miracle that was the miracle of him not letting the bullet pass through his head. And Not the miracle that he would have survived it, but somehow this, like you said, a 3-inch, it's about 3 inches, is lodged in his head somewhere. And like everyone was like, well, just present us give us the autopsy, give us an x-ray with
see the bullet. If they took the bullet out of him, let's see it.
Word is they didn't even do that. They just put I've had normies, just regular, but not you and I, or you. You probably won't say I ain't on your level. You would nut it. Let's just say somebody not like us. It's just regular people that look at the chemtrails and go, you know what, that probably is normal, or probably buys into the box cutting of idea of 9/11. People that don't think like this have literally come up to me more than one. I don't think he's dead. Our pediatrician said that, and I'm going. I'm like, you know what? I've thought stuff like that, but I haven't said that publicly. But you're just like, he's just like, I don't think he's dead. And I go, you know, I see that. But you know, the whole thing with Andrew is the narrative last week too was Mrs. Kirk was supposed to be on some girl, some girl's podcast that is with TPUSA and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was supposed to talk about the relationship, you know, going into Catholicism, 150,000, 150 million, all that. And guess who shows up that in her place? Andrew, Mr. Superman theory. You're like, hey, wait, time out. And then he comes out today or something saying that, well, she's coming on tomorrow on my thing. And, you know, she's a grieving widow. And oh, wait, time out. Okay, I could have bought the grieving thing, but she just did a live stream out of casting. She does two nationwide big time speeches. What do you mean grieving?
I think it's unfair. Let me just play the devil's advocate on that. I think it may be a way for her to process grief because she hasn't had time. Right, she's been thrust from grieving widow to CEO and figurehead. So the
she's
fact
got
of the
some
matter
great
is,
makeup because those usually people that cry, you have to fix that makeup. That makeup is not smeared.
no, I mean they made makeup advances in technology.
Someone tell me I'm wrong on that. It's like, hey, there was supposed to be a lot of crying, and I've seen my wife have to go back and do makeup again. Going, man.
Oh, I have too. And I'm only providing just a basic pushback on, you know, I'm not doing levels that and so, you know, she's still in the shock phase if you think about it. Because she's just been boom, 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 from one thing to another. And let's kind of put the blame towards Andrew and the rest of Tipusa for being like, all right, you got to make the speech. Okay, you got to present at Charlie's funeral. Okay, you got to go out and do the podcast. Or you got to put your name on these emails. We got to start pushing out for chapter signups, and we got to do all this other kind of stuff. So, you know, she's unfortunately being used in this situation to push and promote Tipusa in this. And, you know, she's stuck between wanting to grieve for her husband and not letting his life's work fall into the hands of like Ben Shapiro or any of these other people.
He already gave money.
He gave money, but giving money is, one.
I think Daily Wire's already is in it. It's.
I mean, if you think about it, Glenn Beck's been there, Megyn Kelly's been there, the Daily Wire's been there. There seems to be a lot of internal jockeying for who is going to really, because it's a transition time. Still, we're not even 2 weeks away from it. So you have a lot of
they've done, and they've got their military's wanting in on it. Oklahoma's good, putting it in all their schools. There's an Eastern Orthodox priest that had a great podcast on it. He mentioned that he goes, these guys are monetizing grief.
Oh, 100%. It's almost a form of usury.
Yeah,
it's almost a form of usury if you really want to. You got to let a widow grieve, and yet, this is not the time to do it. We live in the age of monetizing everything, and it doesn't matter. Your grief is something that can be used to promote signups, emails. I've gotten like 15 emails from Erica Kirk. I've never signed up for Tipusa, and yet I've gotten 15 emails from these people.
Yeah, I've had a couple people screenshot them, and I haven't. I'm not on their sign up list, but they've shown it to me and go, man, that was a weird email.
I'm not on there either.
Weaponizing grief, monetizing grief, weaponizing grief, all that. And, yeah, Amy, I've never heard the Hitler to Mexico thing, but I guarantee Bin Laden is still alive. I would bet the farm on that one.
I think I mean if we're gonna go down that rabbit hole, Hitler more likely got to Brazil than Mexico. To be completely honest, the amount of German towns and cities that are like in the back areas of Brazil and Argentina and Chile and all these other, like, you're just driving in the middle of Argentina, it's like a German town pops up. So it's funny when guys are like, "Oh, I was driving around here," and it's like
Is the way a direct descendant.
so it's kind of funny how those things work, but yeah, it is what it is in that regard. But
No, that's the first time I heard that one. I did not know about it. I mean, obviously I knew about Valkyrie, but I didn't know about the Hitler to Mexico thing.
I've
The
never
Bin
heard of
Laden one, I was like, yeah. He's that if I can't buy that one. He's kicking somewhere in the Bahamas right now.
Oh, Bin Laden, he's probably, yeah, absolutely, because he was buried at sea. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
that
sure.
whole thing, and then they kill off everyone else involved with it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
anybody else see this as funny?
It's just ironic. It's
Don't
just
you think?
it's a little too convenient if you want to talk about these kinds of things in that regard. Where
Well,
it's
that was what you were trying to get us going into the Ice Baby part, but I
oh
kind
yeah,
of
no,
pulled us that.
that just completely fell apart. That completely fell apart.
Because as Amy brings up, she goes, I don't think they kill himself. We're back to the kill himself narrative. We got back on the shooters have to be
Oh
suicide.
yeah.
Yeah. We got off that for just one because different I think different player was involved, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we finally got back to the shooter was suicided.
Yeah, it's a that one is very interesting how it was set up and then it happened, and the fact that, like, when you look at the anti-ice bullet, it looks just too perfect. Like, it was a clip that was just dropped on the ground next to him, and
Just like the others. Who
just
let me
like,
write something and I'll go plant that over here for somebody to find for it later.
yeah, like because nobody trusts the FBI in that regard, as you
Well,
shouldn't.
yeah,
So-
you're in the area. Is there anybody going uh with this whole because the narrative is there's the whole the guy shot up an ice place. There's an anti-ice attack, though no ICE agents were even hurt or thought to be hurt. It was detainees that were shot at. Yet the whole narrative is still being spun that it's anti-ICE with everything. They're not even thinking about anything else. It's just keep the focus over here, even though reality says this guy didn't even look at a nice person. Let's keep this play. Is anybody in your area going, what are they talking about?
no, because the reason is that Dallas is so liberal in that regard that it's kind of almost accepted, because Dallas is a hotbed of extremism here in Texas, and it's a widely regarded as a pretty dangerous area. So unfortunately, a lot of people are kind of, I don't want to say buying it. It's easy to accept the narrative, which is why it's such a successful narrative, Steve. Why it's successful to plant or put out there, because people are like, yeah, Dallas is a hotbed of, a bunch of losers and all these other kinds of things. So I would buy that they would be there. That these, they have John Brown clubs in DFW. They have socialist gun clubs in DFW. So they have all those things there. So, and especially because the violence seems to be being pushed out right now, being over not emphasized, but kind of into high gear. These insurgencies, if you want to call them, are being allowed to fester. I think people are just kind of like, yeah, it makes sense in this regard, because people do believe that these people are capable of these kinds of things. And I mean, to
Well,
an
Peter
extent,
brings up a good one.
we've seen,
The opposite narrative happened.
well, it could be. I
I mean,
mean,
that's literally the opposite of it, because if it was the quote unquote fake right, they would be the ones going after all the immigrants and the detainees, being upset at them. The lefties wouldn't be. So it wouldn't be a lefty shooting. The lefty would have shot the ICE guy, not the detainee. The right guy would have been going to the detainee, not the ICE guy. It's all flip
the
flopped.
the only pushback, and I think it's a valid theory, because with this FBI and how absolutely terrible it is, and the fact that we don't know what the end game is. The idea was that he downloaded an app that tracked ICE agents, and ICE agents have been coming in and out of these facilities in these types of vans. So that's the reason why it's such a successful, you can call it a psyop attack, whatever you want, because it's just gray enough. It's just gray enough that you could believe either side. It's in that regard. So I'm not after the Charlie Kirk incident, I'm not dismissing anybody outright, because we live in a time where these psyops and these things that are taking place are very convincing, and there's enough animus being brought up on both sides that you could believe either one of them, if that makes sense.
I don't know. They're being very sloppy. I mean, it's psyop season. I'll go on with that, but they're being very sloppy because I would have bought it if an ICE agent got shot. Not saying I wanted that, but it doesn't work right when you say it was an anti-ICE attack when no ICE agent got hit and or clipped or anything, and it's the detainees guy. And then this comes on the backside of the anti-file terrorist thing, the EO, and then DJT comes out saying anybody, wait for him. He'll probably come out and say anybody that says anything about ICE is going to be labeled a terrorist hate group. And
yeah, I think, well, Steve, I think that groundwork's being laid with this. I think that I believe it could be something to the effect of the violence keeps continuing to escalate, that maybe this psyop, maybe if it is a psyop to goat some crazy left-winger into actually doing it, into actually committing an atrocity against an ICE agent. So we don't know where this is going to progress, because the amount of violence and the way things are escalating as quickly as they are, I don't think it's kind of like the old adage, you think you can control the monster until the monster gets too big, and then you can't control it type deal. That's my fear, is that it's being stoked enough that it's going to kind of be, there's going to come to a point where the powers that be that think they can control this type of actions, it will get beyond their control. And that's when I think things are going to get really testy and tough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Because I don't disagree. I know I like to give a little bit of pushback, but I don't disagree that this one, more than the Charlie Kirk one, just kind of stinks of. This just seems like, and you're right, this one just seems sloppy. Where
like the Kirk thing again, it's like Max Blumenthal had a great line of I was willing to buy the narrative until like Bibby started talking over and over again, or the Superman theory, which turned a lot of people off, or
the Superman theory is where I think they
overstepped.
just went too far. They got out over their skis with that one. That
or
was the one
the
where they
text
put.
messages. Everyone has a line, the text message, or the 30-06, and the brain, the head's still there, or just name what you think. Like, oh yeah, he had reassembled he has disassembled in 0.0001 second, took off with it running, jumped, reassembled it, but screwdriver's up there, and he called daddy afterwards. There's a line for everyone. It seems like, and it just more people are like, every time they open their mouths, they say something completely idiotic. And it's just, again, the Superman thing is like, wait a minute. And where are these cheerleaders? Are these guys so in the bag and do not care about truth one bit, just care about their brand or getting them our logo, that they can't call it? They'll tell other people, better speak the truth. Hey, priest, you better speak the truth. Why aren't you speaking the truth? Ain't none of those bozos that even brought up the Superman thing. Okay.
The Superman one's tough too, because now we're back to, because remember the day of, Glenn Beck was saying it was a miracle. It was a miracle that he's probably going to survive, even though anybody that watched the footage was like, nah, not even close. No. Now we're back to miracle. Now we're, oh, well, he saved people. Once again, I am not I don't believe Steve is either besmirching or diminishing the death of Charlie Kirk. Innocent life being taken in any way, shape, or form is terrible. It is this brood of vipers narrative that is just coming out to exploit on all these different fronts. And here's the sad thing, Steve. there's a lot of evangelicals and Protestants, and I'm not calling you guys out for this. Y'all are just eating this up.
Christian nationalism, pushing
Yeah,
it.
that was a dangerous thing on that Sunday, the rise of Christian nationalism.
Oh
And it's like,
man,
well, what kind of where do you want this to really go, folks? Like, what kind of Christian nationalism are you going to kind of get behind?
I've
Because
got a lot of people asking me because I keep posting about saying how it's a heresy and we don't want that. And I'm like, well, we want that, but people are like, well, we want that. I go, well, they don't want you.
yeah,
So
that's
they're not going to say Catholicism for this. I go, what flavor, what Baskin Robbins flavor of Protestantism do these guys want as your Christian nationalism?
and if you think about it, Steve, the fact that they are coming out so hard on the, when anybody mentions, oh, he was at these Catholic churches, or he was wearing a St. Michael pennant, right? No, here's something from 5 years ago where Eric was saying, the fact that they are so adamant at that kind of gives you an inside look at how they view Catholics.
Uh-huh.
It really it and there's unfortunately our evangelical brothers and sisters. A lot of y'all are great people. A lot of y'all are great people. I've got some good friends of that. My fear is the establishment, the upper levels, right? At the in the higher ranks that just don't want anything to do with Catholicism. There's
Yeah.
still that Protestant, there's still that protest streak that a lot of them have. Not
Yeah.
saying all, I'm saying many of them do have.
I mean, you saw the headset Our Father video with the military thing, and his pastor is a big, just a gigantic Christian nationalist in D.C. And if anybody, they look at, I mentioned it 2 days ago on Clowney. They look at it like glory of the coming of the Lord, in a sense. When Sherman's burning down the South, that was the glory of the Lord. That's the same mindset that they're looking at. The glory of the coming of the Lord is bombing anybody to keep Israel safe, to protect Israel at all costs. And that's really it. I mean, there's some guys that are going, what do you want? Chinese nationalism or Muslim? No, that's not what's going to happen. No, it's, and on top of, like I said, well, which one? And there's one pastor out there saying, well, the only people that should vote are male married with children. Okay,
Mhm.
well, what if you can't have kids, but you're a good dude?
That would exclude me.
Yeah.
That would
What
exclude me
if
right off
you're
the
a
top.
good dude and you're not married? Well, that guy, but you own property. I mean, that was the whole thing with the founders. It was own property. You had skin in the game.
Yeah.
Now you just have to be married with kids, and that's it. Yeah, that don't make any sense. Or what was another one? There was capital punishment for homosexuals, trannies, and people that do abortion. So now we're going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
They're not talking about love at all anymore. They're just looking at, and Kirk even brought this up in a debate with an Eastern Orthodox kid years ago, I guess it was. I was looking up some Christian nationalism stuff, and I found the debate thing. And he looked at, one of the things he brought up was God coming back in Revelations with a sword, and he looked at it and interpreted it as like a military conquest. And the EO guy goes, no, that's the scripture,
But
that's the word of God coming out of the sword. And
that's very close. I don't mean to interrupt, but that's very close to a Judaism point of view of, they're waiting for their Messiah to lead them to glorious reconquering of Jerusalem and so forth. So it mirrors up very closely to that point of view.
Right. Yeah, that he was all it now till the end. Apparently, now you're hearing guys like Andrew, who I wouldn't trust with 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 anybody else's money after the Superman day. After the Superman day, that you lose all trust for me. I don't believe a word that comes out of you after that. Which it goes back to when she was supposed to come on these shows. Going to be interesting to see what she says, because there's all this evidence saying the opposite, like moving away from Israel, question October 7th, questioning ethnic cleansing. And now you got Shapiro and them saying, oh, no, he wasn't doing all that.
Yep.
Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, D, E. How long we going to go? We got hours of this stuff now, dude. I mean, how do you, and they sit there and they lie to your face again because it's for Israel. So it's kind of like a Christian version, I think, Takia, in a sense. It's okay to lie for the greater good of Israel almost.
What's also kind of crazy, like, have you seen the Huckabee stuff? Like,
dude,
Huckabee, like, he is gone.
he puts the
Whatever you want to
Zion
say,
in
that guy has
Zionism.
gone off the rails.
He puts the Zion in Zionism. He wants to have the star of Huck, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of this, how about the Bibby's plane? Did you see about that?
Yeah. How many times has he been back since Charlie?
Well, he's coming next week. He's coming
Mhm.
Monday, but they did a little zigzag thing so that they couldn't fly over places that would have arrested him.
Oh. Yeah, it's a little interesting in that regard.
Italy's not on that list. France isn't in the ICC, but Spain would have thrown them in the Hague quickly if they flew over. So they avoided Spain.
Yeah, yeah, and I get it. It's and of course there is the idea that, okay, if Charlie was moving away from Zionism and all these other kinds of things that people are saying, and now you have people that have replaced him on the Tapusa circuit, where there is no question of it. There is nothing but the loyalty to.
Uh-huh.
So it's just very. All I'm saying is it's very coincidental that these things are.
There's too many questions come up about the new route of them, because there was a guy that come out a couple days ago. There was some just gigantic millionaire guy that took away donations days before all. So
Mhm.
more of those reports are coming out about more, and Blumenthal's been all over it.
Yeah.
I watched one of the what's her name? Candace. Saw
Yeah.
Candace once, one show of hers, and all I told a couple friends was, I hope she burns the whole thing down. That's it. But I wouldn't have given them a warning though. I would have just, here's it coming. 3, 2, 1, boom.
And
Not
then
give you,
drop.
you better say something or I'll come our receipts. Oh no, gloves are off, dude. Uh, but because it is kind of weird when you're watching that. And let's go to our sponsors for 5 minutes, and you turn on the sponsor shows. Going, okay, you got 3 million views. Why can't we just do the 3? If it's my friend, I'm not clicking the monetize thing or say, hey guys, I know we're sponsors on this. I'm
I
gonna
did.
go roll.
I did 2 shows, the Wednesday and the Thursday show. I didn't do the guys that, trad flags or proselytize. I didn't do any of that, just out of respect. Friday, I'm like, all right, we're a couple days away, so we're going to start doing, quick ad read at the beginning of the show. But I didn't do them for a couple days just out of respect for the guy. And the fact that some people are hitting that button anyway, even like Jason Whitlock, like on the Thursdays, like, hey guys, I know we're talking about this, but I got sponsors. And so even he did an ad read. It's like,
the
I mean,
sponsors
I
would
get
have.
it, you have contracts and stuff like that. I understand that there are some that are they're pretty beholden to this contract structure and
I
stuff like that.
guess.
But
I mean,
I,
that just.
I'm not. I'm just saying that they're, because Tim Pool was even talking about it. He's like, I didn't do ad reads in the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but Monday came around and my sponsors were like, all right, guys, you got to start pushing it again, which is fine. The Monday, the week after, you can start doing ad reads, but the immediate aftermath, that's just. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'm a nobody and I didn't run them.
if
So
I'm
here's
that
another.
close to, if I'm that close as she says she was, I'm not thinking of the liver pills. I'm coming on and going, okay, here comes the fire. Here's the receipts. We're going. It might be 3 hours later before we forget. Oh, I forgot to do sponsors. I apologize, guys. I'll give you a free month down the road. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to town right now. You don't go, oh yeah, it's 45 after the hour. It's time for the
Yeah.
let's
Here we
change
go.
my tune from I'm gonna put my fist up these guys to, oh, by the way,
Yep.
wait a second. Maybe I'm not saying that she isn't legit. Maybe she is, but just saying me. If someone takes Rick out, I'm going, oh, and I knew what was going on, and I see people lying about it, I'm going, okay, here comes the hammer, and I'm not thinking of anything else but this.
Yeah, I get it. I'm like I said, I'm with you on that. And I did it. Like I can actually say, the people that watch my show, Mark, Amy, the people that actually watch my show, I didn't do it. And so it's interesting when people decide that is the thing to go with. That is the
Just weird.
no.
I can't believe he's gone. And then all that. Now, if you got liver problems, check out this website right here and do the code whatever.
Yeah, promo
For
code.
20% off. Now back to this.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just time for news and weather on the hour. Brought to you by Low T Center.
Yeah, it's not like anybody on these platforms is the same thing as like networks where you have ad breaks. Like you have these built in, you can't do anything about it. But one of the beauties of supposedly of working on or having a channel like this is that you can do that. You can maneuver as you need to. So it's just it's very interesting that was a choice that was made. Like I said, I don't know if I can really call it out or not, but
there's this guy on Fox reported that by the way, Fox was reporting on the Superman thing too, going,
oh, Fox broke it. Fox was the one that like led
it. Yeah, this is the big thing, like Superman is still really. And then you had the photo of the guy who's standing outside in the Dairy Queen next to Man of Steel. And it's you talk about clown world. What was I about to say?
I don't know. Shoot. You're on your own, buddy. I don't know. I don't know where your mind's going.
It's all over the place. What was the thing that brought that up?
I don't know. We've been kind of just we've been kind of weaving in and
out.
Oh,
there's a Fox News. There's a guy that they said that was going to do something at the, I guess, pep rally or service, whatever you want to call it, which had the guy walking with a cross on 22s, which was
always, we had a wheel on it. It's like I don't know.
Picture me rolling.
As impactful as you think it is.
Take up that cross with 22s and dubs.
Yeah. I don't know if that's exactly in the scripture. I don't know.
Well, this guy comes out and said that I guess he posted on social media that he was going to do some kind of horrible deed, run his truck through or something at the event, and they caught him, arrested him. And my first thought went, Gideon?
Yeah.
Pre-crime, they got him before the crime. It was a social media thing. How did they know that if Gideon is not active already? Even though it'd be pretty dumb that somebody could probably just copy the link and send it to the PD, going, "Hey, this guy's saying this," but still, they haven't said that thing's activated yet, and they didn't say anybody turned him in, but they were able to find that out through a social media post before it all happened. So I wonder if Gideon is activated. Now, they're not going to come out and say it.
There might be a beta version of it out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're not going to come out and say, "Hey, we're in a beta version," or sign up for version 2.1 or anything like that. It's just going to be there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they know they made the mistake by even talking about it a while back and letting the cat out of the bag on that and saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this." Now they're like, "Yeah, you know what? No more. Don't be saying that."
That was a ferocious line that they let out of the bag. But that guy was wanting money. He's a big, as they say, grifter. He wants people to send him a ton of money so he can keep this thing going, which I don't know how much he needs, but I thought Headsack and those guys would probably like give him a contract, or Palantir would join him or something.
I'm sure there's versions of it that are being tested, being integrated, that we don't even, the way they get around these things, Steve, I'm sure there's versions of it that are not called that specific language. It's a sub program of it that's being used. And so that well, we're not using it, but but they don't also have to say, but we're using a different version of it with a little bit of different code. All those legalistic arguments people make.
Yeah.
That's how they try to sleep at night, where they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't do it that way." No, we're definitely not launched that. Well, we definitely launched the beta version of it that's under a different name. But that's how these things kind of go in that regard.
Here's that story.
Which I can't read it. What does it say?
Terroristic threat. A man has been arrested and charged after allegedly making social media threats against Kirk Vigil at the University of Texas in San Antonio. Something Dunbar at 19 allegedly suggested that he planned to use his truck to disrupt the vigil.
Yeah, that's simple enough. If he said it on like Reddit or one of these other platforms that are already being monitored, you don't really need all that software to find it.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be that hard, especially if a friend buys threw that in. But
yeah, especially if he was dumb enough to post it on something like Reddit or one of these forums that are already being monitored. So it's not too much of a shock in that regard. But
but it makes me go,
yeah, it's also very interesting that the technocracy is being embraced by the right, saying, "Oh yeah, it's great that we used this technology to find him." And as you said, don't forget that this event was at State Farm Arena, an NFL arena, which has the technology to face map everybody. So
facial rec is definitely there. This when people were wondering, how did they find Leo the 14th's face at the White Sox game? It's called facial recognition.
Yeah, that's not hard. That's easy, child.
If they did that quickly on a game 15 years ago, what do you think they could do? There was a music band that had it and to the front thing that they had the facial rec on the screen so that the fans in the crowd could see their faces on the screen and see how they react to it.
Oh yeah, they do that too at like hockey games, and then they'll put like emoji faces over them or do the filters. They do like Snapchat filters on people. So that's how they mainline it. That's how they make it acceptable, right? They make it friendly and fun at these sports events. And then people are like, "Oh, that's funny. They superimpose something over my face," instead of saying, "Wait, how could you superimpose something over my face?"
This is just video while you're talking about that. I just had the video playing in the background of UK okaying the digital ID, which we mentioned before, but it's Sky News reporting.
Yeah, well, they're embracing it. They're very happy that that it's happening. I mean, the fact that it's, I thought it was happening sooner than this. The fact that it's only happening now is actually kind of a surprise. I know in Italy they're not taking passports anymore. So if
there's 9. Was it Italy? One of them, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Puerto Rico. Was it Italy? There was about
Italy's one of them. Well,
9 countries that already have it.
My wife and I like to go to, we've gone to Rome a couple times. So we're always kind of looking at that stuff. And Italy's the newest one to no longer recognize. Speaking of which, give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Talk, Steve.
I was looking at the thing. Costa Rica, China, Singapore, South Korea, UAE, Canada, Japan, and India. Which again, some of the Falcons are winning 14-3. If anybody knows that joke with Amy saying it's because the Super Bowl was 14-3, and I remember sitting there watching that one, and being a Carolina guy, I absolutely hate the Falcons. So a friend of mine wondered why Super Bowl, which was torturous, is like just waterboard me. I don't want to watch the Falcons. I definitely don't want to watch them win.
You know what Steve wants?
Oh, Luce.
Come into Steve's bed. I hope this is when I mail this next week to Steve. This better be back there. I better see a Luce back there. Luce! I got like 3 of these things. I got to mail them out to a bunch of people, but
that's funny.
Luce and friends come into Sensus Fidelium soon.
Luce and companions.
Yes. No, it says Luce and friends.
Oh. Yeah.
No, it's real. Yeah, she's got a bunch of friends. Designed by Tocadillo. So yes. Luce.
Yeah, set up a Luce store. Probably
I got 4 of them, and I got a big Luce that we have at downstairs.
It's like a blow up doll you're gonna put out for Halloween.
No, we don't do blow up dolls in this house, Steve. It's just a regular plush toy.
Because the Rapture was supposed to happen a couple days ago.
It was actually happening yesterday. People are just.
Yeah, I would have given anything if I would. I wish I could have had money to buy the blow up dolls to let it float in the air while they.
Oh, the crazy thing, is that like it was almost a what was the meteor? What was the meteor in California? The Halley comet or whatever it is, where that group, sacrificed themselves when the comet was coming by and all this other kind of stuff. I thought it was going to be one of these others. Like people are just going to do that kind of stuff. So it's like, I hope y'all, anybody checking in on our Rapture friends? Because what's the post Rapture report here?
If you haven't seen Clyde got raptured the other day.
Yes.
Just put some clothes
some
outside.
Some guy should have taken the opportunity to just not come into work.
Or
why is the mark here?
What if
Mark
somebody
said
did something
about the
like
rapture.
DUI and then wrecked the car into a tree, and then we had the brains to jump over passenger side and kind of sleep it off, and someone goes, "What happened? Who's driving? He got raptured."
Yeah, rapture. Can I claim on his insurance? That's it. The Haley Bop.
His pants are right there.
Yep. He was talking about the rapture real bad, so I guess he's raptured. So oh well.
That was tonight. I thought it was today, not tonight. No one who would clue. AM, PM is no idea.
It was just rapture unknown.
It was
unknown
Pacific
time.
Standard Time, Italy Standard Time. No one had a clue.
Nope.
Yeah, that was fun. But hey, like our thing is YouTube is back, baby. They got all the Rona channels are back.
Well, not really, because they already banned Jones. They already rebanned Jones.
What? Everyone should be. I'm not for silence of people. I'm fine with Jones being kicked off again.
He's got his own networks. He's fine.
He's fine. He's got his own network, like you said, and he's there's a reason why everybody has left that guy. To say that.
Yeah, I mean, Owen Schroeder's yeah, he's kind of when you work for a domineering personality like that, if you're not in line with his stuff, it's really hard to kind of expand out and be your own thing. So I get where Owen Schroeder's coming from, and Owen's fine. Every time he puts up a post, it gets like 1 million so views. He'll start a channel. He'll be fine, just like Paul Joseph Wattinson and all the others who
Reese Report.
Yeah,
that's who I was trying to talk to you last time about you. It's like Greg Reese. Yeah, they're fine, but they're all talking about going because Jones started a holy war shirt. What do you call it? Merchandise store.
Yep.
Which goes into the idea of this Christian nationalism, holy war stuff, Zionism takeover. They're in the.
Yeah, the crazy thing is his memes were hysterical. It was like Jews. Have you ever seen those on like Instagram or something like that? Ever since he's got strings attached to him post losing everything, he's been very reserved in some of those regards. And so, and I understand he's got people to answer to. It's tough when you go from being independent, which he was, to having to answer to people.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
just like a board, you lose your lose your business when you get a board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he had no choice. He had no choice in the matter. It was thrusted upon him. So he's just trying to survive. I get it. I don't hold it against him. But you have these YouTube, which is funny because everybody was celebrating Jimmy Kimmel comeback on Tuesday. He got like 6.5 million views. Last night, nobody watched.
Yeah.
And all these, but Joe Biden and his administration pressured Google and all these people to, like, when they say pressured, we talked about my show, YouTube, all these, they're finding that Kamala's kicking Joe, everybody's kicking Joe Biden while he's down. So it's easy for Google to be like, yeah, Joe Biden totally forced me to do it. It wasn't our fault. It was Joe's fault. And they'll do this for 3 years until Trump's out. And once Trump's out, they'll start rebanning everybody again. It's just survival. It's not stupid by any means on their part to do those kinds of things, right? It's Joe Biden's fault. Everybody else is blaming Joe. Joe was mean to us too. And now,
back then, it was part of if anybody watched Event 201, they talked about doing that. Mm-hmm. So everything that came out with the Rona was, like Event 201. You saw that? They did that.
Yeah, it was all planned out. It was perfectly done. Of course, you probably didn't see that because all the channels that talked about that were banned. But the fact of the matter is,
I tried my best to skirt around you could talk about Event 201. You just could not talk about the jibbity jab. You had to come up with code words. The sniffles instead of Rona.
The coof was a funny one that a lot of people came up with. Yeah, so
you had to be very strategic. To the point that if you said anything, you had to put at the bottom something about this goes against HHS standards or guidelines or whatever. You still
got warnings under people's channels up until like last year. Well, COVID-19 has been the Wikipedia and all that kind of stuff.
Like I said, I watched Last American Vagabond a lot, and he still has videos taken down because of they bring it up. Now I don't know if it will happen afterwards. He was one of those channels like Corbin and others that got taken down during it. Corbin got back up a couple of weeks ago, and I saw a lot of alt media guys get back about a month ago or so, and then they officially did it. Like, thank you, Fang. The U, the Y, and which ones is that? I don't know. Anyway, Fang itself, Facebook. What is A?
Google. It's Facebook,
Amazon,
Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google.
Google's the YouTube part. And they're still bad. I mean,
Fang is Apple.
Go after Israel.
A is the Apple. Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google.
I thought it was Amazon. Okay.
You could be. I mean, the A is either one.
Either way.
Swap in either Amazon or Apple.
They're
both the same. You know what, Steve? You could get Fang and put both of them in there with 2 A's.
Yeah, double A.
Yeah, absolutely in that regard. But it's also the idea that people are celebrating the fact that Kimmel's back while ignoring the fact that censorship was absolutely restricted and pushed down for certain things. And it's just all this, it's a distraction. It's a distraction technique and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, of course. I mean, everything's a distraction. The thing of shooting is a distraction. The Kirk thing is a distraction. It was a distraction on top of a psyop, but it got everyone hyper focused on this, and you're like the next day the Epstein vote gets through. No one cared. No one knew. No one knew. Nothing new about it.
No.
So and then obviously the focus is all on the Christian nationalism and the kookiness of everyone that's coming out of the closet right now, and the emotion tainment that's come out from it. It's amazingly unreal. And not in a good way. And people, don't you want people to come to God? Yeah. Do we want people to go into heretical churches too?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Catholics had to kind of dance around for the first couple days. You went one of 2 ways. You went with the whole you went with the narrative essentially, for lack of a better term, or you kind of had to dance around he was. He was the guy who spoke for free speech and these all kinds of things. And
is there any Catholic priests out there does anybody know this, that is actually bringing up stuff like we've talked about, that, hey, we got to pump the brakes on it? Because most of the ones I've seen online are in the bag on the narrative. You can't talk to them. It's outside the narrative. It's just the 3x5 card. Even the ones that question the Pope are 305. They're on the 3x5. They dare not question anything else on that. Is there anybody out there in the cloth that has mentioned that, hey, this is kind of crazy, this is kind of weird in the sense of a lot of things don't add up, we shouldn't trust the FBI, when did the FBI become the gospel truth, things like that?
That's the problem when you put your podcast buddies in charge of the FBI. And that's one thing I've had no problem calling out, like Tim Pool and all these other guys, because of the way I trust Cash and Dan. I'm like, wow. Oh, because you hang out with them, because you've been on their shows and you guys text each other and all this other kind of stuff. So of course you're gonna quote unquote trust them because they're your buddies. I've never hung out with Cash and Dan, and I think they're terrible. I think they're awful people. Valhalla Patel is one of the worst appointments in the history of the FBI. The guy's a moron.
Speaking of Wakanda Forever on there, have you seen this?
I can't read that. My glasses.
Well, not even the reading part. Have you just seen the video before?
What am I looking at?
This is Patel just the other day talking about how he's anybody wishes to do harm to our way of life or our citizens here or abroad, they will go after anyone who does that.
Yeah.
The person on his right is his girlfriend.
Oh, his Mossad agent girlfriend? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm completely in line with that. In one of my signal groups, they all laughed. I'm like, if you look at his girlfriend and then you look at his goofy self, there's no way that she swiped right on him willingly. There's no way. There's the guy is absolutely, first of all, he's 42 and she's 29. So she could do a lot better. than Kash Patel. And the fact that she's she's hanging out with him is just like,
Yeah,
okay.
there's something with that one right there. They don't put their wives on screen with him. His girlfriend is on screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and I'm not. This does not mean I think anything behind this. Did you see that Mrs. Kirk said that they met in Israel before?
Mm-hmm. Well, that girl, that his girlfriend, who does she work for? She worked for Tipusa. Oh no, she worked for PragerU.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all the
All
same.
connected.
It's all connected in that regard. It shouldn't shock anybody that yeah, I know he looks older than that, but he's in his like mid-40s, maybe. But yeah, he doesn't age.
He's
well.
not Bill Belichick level, but
no, he's not. Poor Bill Belichick, man. That guy's just falling off the rails. I thought he was going to do halfway decent at UNC, but this is just pathetic. It's awful. Anyway, I don't want to get into sports talk, but yeah,
Well, Clemson, North Carolina played this week, I think, and I heard the joke is they're going to be on Comedy Central.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's just, no one should ever. All the guy had to do was not parade her around, but the fact that she is, everybody's just like, ooh, this is kind of gross. So yeah.
Well, speaking of algorithm, you have Press Secretary Levitt, who finally has her cross back, says the TikTok algorithm will be secured and retrained. Trump will sign a new deal later. At Dave DeCamp of antiwar.com. We must secure the TikTok algorithm for the future of the Jewish state.
Here's the problem with that. 20% of TikTok is still owned by the CCP. The algorithm is being leased from the CCP to Oracle, to whoever. So this is nothing but a shell. This is nothing but a shell corporation. All the US is getting is some monetary benefit from this. The algorithm's still going back to the CCP. They can say all the data is going to be stored here in the US. The Chinese are going to redevelop the algorithm to steal as much data from the algorithm as possible. You can still get tons of information from the algorithm, who's swiping where, whether their interests, all kinds of stuff. So the fact that they're like, oh, look at the algorithm's going to be in the US. No, this is a complete and total phony. It's a complete fail by the Trump regime, the Trumps and everything else. It's a bad Trump move. They should have just shut it down. And, the whole thing about, the small businesses can use Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and Craigslist. There's plenty of other things they can use besides TikTok. But the fact that Trump has bent over backwards to appease, and that's because, TikTok helped him. The Chinese aren't stupid. They re-rigged the algorithm in 2024 to promote Trump. So when they were like, hey, don't get rid of us, he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you guys are great now. And so the Chinese did it the right way. They appeased Trump, and Trump will do whatever he needs to keep it. Because if he thinks you like him, because Trump, his biggest flaw in life is he just wants to be liked, then he will bend over backwards for you. It's true, Steve. I am correct in this. I am correct. But yeah, so we have that TikTok deal, which is absolutely awful, and it's just not a good look. But that's okay. I mean, what else would we expect from any of this? This is only, speaking of trying to take the temperature down, this is only going to make the temperature worse. And I get why Trump is doing it, because if he doesn't, then when he gets out of office, the state's going to come after him even harder than it did before. But
yeah, I wonder why if Bondi is having reservations because of that idea right there.
Oh, what? The fact that when she leaves, they're going to come after her? Yeah.
She's on race. So she does like, hey, can we pump the brakes? Going, yeah, she doesn't have immunity from that. Trump might.
Well, my joke is Trump's probably going to have to go to Russia after the election just to get, like Edward Snowden, so he doesn't get taken back for all these kinds of things. So the pressure is kind of on in that regard, because it's the post-Trump era is going to be one of these things that they have to look into, especially with the left being more emboldened and their hatred of him going through the roof.
Yeah, no. But again, I look at it as just fake hate, but you got the I know you don't like watching Carrie, so I won't put it on there. But she has a great video of the one chick that usually has a cut off
Oh,
top.
you can play her if you want. If she's got something interesting, I don't care. I just make fun of you for that, Steve. Come on, be better.
I guess that's a horse of a different color. Then I guess
it is. It is. It's just something I get to have fun and joke around with you with.
Well, let me go ahead and get everything done.
But yes, the idea is that this is going to increase leftist calls of, well, this is fascism and blah blah blah.
Anybody else feel like they're watching way too many people fall into unhinged, polarized hysteria? One way to understand what's happening right now comes from a book that inspired America's top propagandist, Edward Bernays, who helped engineer public support for things like World War I, helped promote and sanitize the CIA coup in Guatemala, and spoke openly about the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the masses. The Crowd, written in 1895 by Gustave Le Bon, discusses how leaders implant beliefs and sentiments into collective groups. In this case, the American left and right, which are both absolutely losing it in different ways after the Kirk assassination, as each faction fixates on this country's evils. But the roots of these reactions go back to long before he was shot. Le Bon named 3 main steps to stir up a crowd that require previous preparation. The first step in controlling a crowd is affirmations. Le Bon said that to influence a crowd, the rhetoric must be simple and clear. Some examples of affirmations about America's worst threats right now are
right-wing extremism. Democracy is at risk.
Fascism for the left wing and
radical left. Democrats hate America.
Leftist lunatics
for the right wing. But Le Bon said affirmation alone is not enough. Repetition is key. Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels agreed, saying propaganda had to be simple and repetitious.
Right-wing extremism.
Right-wing extremism.
Right-wing extremism.
Democracy is at risk. Democracy is at risk.
Democracy is at risk.
Fascist. Fascism.
Radical left. Radical far left.
Radical left.
Democrats hate America.
They hate our country.
They hate America.
Far left lunatic.
Leftist lunatics.
Is that a radical left lunatic?
A current of opinion is formed, and the powerful mechanism of contagion intervenes. Ideas, sentiments, emotions, and beliefs are all contagious in crowds. A panic that has seized a few sheep will soon extend to the whole flock. The contagion of polarizing beliefs has been spreading for years, but Kirk's killing has unleashed a fresh wave of all the crowd's simmering outrage, disdain, divisiveness, and fear. When Kirk was killed, it wasn't just that single event that whipped so many people into a frenzy, but the activation of years and decades of high-stakes, hyper-emotional programming and all the imagery that's come with it. And it happens for far more things than his assassination. I'm not saying the entire Kirk horror story has been intentionally engineered, but people's ideas, behaviors, and feelings are boiling over right in line with all the narratives they've been eating up for years, and ruling authorities are milking it for all it's worth. A Bernays quote about World War I applies to so much more. The manipulators of patriotic opinion made use of the mental cliches and the emotional habits of the public to produce mass reactions against the alleged atrocities, the terror, and the tyranny of the enemy. Add in the never-ending news cycle, social media addiction, and all the chronic stress and fight-or-flight overload. Then add in a never-ending stream of partisan divide-and-conquer propaganda that keeps people fighting each other and blind to the realities of the authoritarian uniparty dystopia. And is it any wonder the masses are falling into what appears to be collective mania?
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go in that regard. So, yeah, I mean, I think Phoebe had it kind of good. Yeah, like we might be in trouble.
We're host. Wait till we get more host.
Yeah, we definitely might have a problem on our hands, as they say. So we might have a problem here, folks. But
could be worse.
Yeah, I hope so. I think
I don't know what it could be worse on, but it could be worse.
Right, in that regard. Yeah. So, I think on that note, we'll probably let's go to Cry Room and Saint of the Week. Now that we've scared everybody appropriately tonight.
Cry Room, I'll go with a little something, I guess, funny in a sense. You've seen the Epstein Trump statues?
No, I know we talked about a
well, last week was the Bitcoin statue.
Yes.
Somebody brought in a Trump and Epstein statue.
Okay.
And here it is.
That's funny.
In honor of Friendship Month. There's Trump over there on the left and Epstein on the right. They had it said it only lasted a day. The U.S. Park Police removed the statue of Trump and Epstein approximately 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday. They had a permit that was supposed to remain until Sunday.
No for you.
So
No for you.
I guess the crime would be the people that asked for it to go down, because you talk about absolutely hilarious. I mean, who went through the time to make a statue like that?
I mean, that they did do a lot of work there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That is definitely sorry.
My theme of the week is, well, I mean, it could be anything for the crime room, because I mean, you got Headsec that's bringing all these generals in for, I don't know if he's getting the war pigs ready or not. I guess saint of the week would be who would be a saint of the week? That is a great question. Did I have anybody that did anybody score a touchdown? I guess if it's been a really quiet saint of the week type deal thing, where apparently we found some saint of the weeks. Let's just talk about Protestants.
I mean, yeah, that's the Protestant stuff is actually getting pretty bad in that regard. It's getting pretty cringy.
I guess I'll go with anybody that's not buying the narratives of what's going on. I actually have the guts to question, hey, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't make sense. Just simple things like that. When they tell you that somebody's neck is strong enough to stop a 30-06, you got to tell them, all right, you're lying to us. Or if this doesn't add up or that doesn't make sense, that people actually use their brains for something other than a hat rack that they think question. Like, I guess they'll be the saints of the week because they think we're stupid. Is that Alexander Snowsiniskin quote of we know they're lying, they know that they're lying, we know that they know that we're lying, they know that we know that they know that they're lying, but they do it anyways.
Okay. So for my cry room are all the women that decided to binge as much Tylenol as possible.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's just some brilliant work there, ladies. I mean, unfortunately, there are actually women in the ER and the ICU now that are they're like, you're probably gonna die because you fried your liver. Of course, I made the joke that all these women are probably double, triple, quadruple vaxxed and all this stuff already. So I feel bad for their kids. So they are my cry room, all of them, because that was just silly stuff, and stop being dumb. Saint of the week is Enoch, with his new rap album, Rapologia. Anyway, great. It's the apologetics album. Enoch once again brings the heat down. He's doing really good. He was up to 25 on the Apple charts, and he's slowly moving up the chart as well. So if you have a chance, support Enoch. Enoch is out there doing the work, really helping out and spreading the word in a field that is dominated by Protestants and all the evil rap out there. So when you get a chance, listen to it, download it, help out Enoch, because he's one of the guys that we all should, there's very few people who say anything bad about Enoch, and he deserves all the support and help that he can get in that regard. All right, folks, that's it for this latest episode of Scare the Pants Off of You. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the news from the pew. Download Census for Fame. Go to censusforfame.tv. Download Steve's app. You get 2 weeks for free, where you get all kinds of content, uncensored. It's great. It helps support Steve in his efforts. You want to support me, you can subscribe to the Rickcast channel, the Rickcast, where you can watch the Council of St. Michael. Doing really well on that show. People seem to love it. And if you'd like, you can always buy my book, The Armed Catholic, the Catholic Cape, the Catholic Case for Guns and Self-Defense. Y'all go and take a deep breath and just make sure you focus on God and the life after this. The earth is thy ship and not thy home. God bless, and Viva Cristo Rey.